We're still in the market. We're still making money. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on this fellow, see if he ever cashes in on his wonderful bet he's making. This is not good. You see for lease signs going up on a lot of property. I don't know of many malls in town where I can't find lots and lots of property gone vacant, more than I can remember in past years. In fact, if you look at New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, their trouble started when the pandemic hit. But when the pandemic's over, they had about 2 weeks of thinking everything's okay, and then nope, it's got worse and worse. And it continues to get worse. If you're up over 20% office vacancy, you're going to have a tough time making any money. And in fact, some real estate experts are saying commercial real estate crash will be at least as bad as in 2008, says some fellow named Patrick Carroll. Anyway, the reason he says that is by 2025, there's going to be $1.5 trillion real estate debt due. You won't be able to pay that if you are running 20% vacancies. That's why he thinks a lot of small companies and even some large companies will go under because they can't pay for what they already have. Let's take a look at some sectors. First, let's go over the sectors that look like they're in trouble, and we're looking at the KRE, the regional banks. Big crash, another crash. It is not recovering. Energy, DBE, it's kind of in trouble. We can kind of ignore most of these. They're all just kind of like in the noise level. But let's jump to the three that look like they're doing okay. Okay, the very top one is our portfolio number 2. So it continues to look okay. The gray line, which is the next important ETF that has a good trend to it, is the technology group, the XLK. And then the QQQ looks almost a mirror image of it. So the technology is doing good. Energy and real estate is not doing so good. Another way to look at our portfolio. So our green line's going up quite well. Look at cane sugar. Cane, wow, continuing to jump up there. It's volatile, but it's making a lot of money. ITB, that's housing building. The yellow line. Okay, we follow the yellow line. Looking okay. Now the SVXY is short the VIX. It continues to be okay. I keep a very tough eye on that because that can get volatile very quickly. Silver dropped. Gold remained consistent, and gold is in our portfolio. So we're in good shape. So here's our 5-year of making the portfolio. So each week I drop a week off of it and start with another week on the end and redo a quick calculation on the formula. And there's no change so far. So as we progress through, we may find early warnings that some should be dropped and some increased and possibly add some other to the mix. But right now, our portfolio is just fine. Here's if you do the same chart, but you start with the peak of the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ has dropped 32% and then recovered up to where it's only down 15%. And our portfolio is sitting here now plus 16% basically. So in pretty good shape. Our very long-term timer It still has us out of the market. Okay, the yellow is the NASDAQ. All right, big drop in 2000, crash of 2008, and then the little bit of a crash starting here. The green line is the formula I use for very, very long term. We're talking 30 years here and averaging 21% a year. The blue-gray in the background, this represents the drawdown. So that's how we watch how bad the drawdown gets. And that if you didn't have a timer, your drawdown would have been 82%. And with our timer, the worst we were was 18.5%. And that hit right here as we came in to the market a little too soon after the crash of 2008. We got to jump in just before there was a little tick down, and that kicked it down. Okay? Now, our 17-year-old timer, it makes less money per year because we have been able to dramatically drop the drawdown. So overall, it's a better formula. Same color scheme. And since we've come back in the market, we're doing just fine. Here's the blow up showing our get out of the market signal and our get back in the market signal. And it looks like it's been running perfect. Okay, for the 401k fellows, the 3 recommendations are still in good shape. No change. We're in 100%. If your system has PGOEX like Merlin Cyber, that's what you're in. If you're in human interest, then it's VIGAX, 100%. If you're in some other 401ks, OIEJX may be the more important one. If that's available, that's the one you're in 100%. For people that want to do their own portfolio and are interested in making the max amount of money with a little constraint that you don't really want to lose any money, you still want to make some money. No change. We're still 25% VIXM, 20% SVXY, 25% cane, 20% gold, 10% ITB, and then 50% cash, and then the same ratios is our portfolio one. No change here. No change here. Our timing signals remain 100% buy. Volatility is measured by the ATR percent. That's average true range percent is buy. The 200-day moving average percent for NASDAQ 100 is buy. So we're still in 100%. Looking at the 3 markets that we track, the Russell 1000 has calmed down. Okay, this is very encouraging news. It has stopped deteriorating and is fairly constant. The S&P is still coming down, but at decreasing speed. And the QQQ, although it shows the trend down, the fine definition shows it's kind of flattening out. It may not crash at all now. And the actual QQQ, nice, strong, nothing to get excited about. Okay, this is just a summary of our very long term. We're in good shape. And then the short term, which is the volatility, that's when we got back in the market. And as you see, over the last 2 weeks, we're actually at an even lower point. So that means we probably have 3, maybe 4 weeks that we're probably going to be in the market without too much worry, I hope. So that's all we have for this week. Continued good investment, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.